Coming up on KVR News, what controversial rally was held on campus today?
Also, a UT student with family in Egypt has something to say.
And students tell us how many people they've been kissing.
All this and more tonight on KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Risa Morris.
And I'm Melanie Torrey. A rally was held on campus today for same-sex couple benefits. It's an issue that's been around for a while, but the Pride and Equality Faculty Staff Association, as well as various student organizations, began pushing the university to make some changes again earlier this afternoon.
KVR reporter Soo-Yeon Hong tells us what happened on the West Mall today.
Nearly 100 protesters gathered on the West Mall today to rally for competitive insurance benefits. The issue of securing insurance benefits for LGBT faculty and staff at UT is not new. In years past, the university has said the decision goes back to the state legislature's definition of marriage. But rally organizers say they hope this rally will influence University President Powers to finally change policy this year.
It's a huge problem in terms of competitiveness in the academic marketplace. We simply can't attract the best faculty and staff to the university when our peer institutions are luring people away with these benefits.
Powers changing the policy anytime soon?
Well, Melanie, last fall, President Powers established a working group to help discuss and create soft benefits for LGBT faculty and staff. Soft benefits include sick leave, bereavement leave, and parental leave. But since then, no new developments, which means we're going to have to sit and wait on this issue. Reporting live from the tower, Soo-Yeon Hong, KVR News.
This Sunday marks the 20th anniversary of the Austin Marathon and Half Marathon. This is the first year the marathon is sponsored by Livestrong, a nonprofit organization founded by 7-time Tour de France winner, cyclist Lance Armstrong. Reporter John Scott went to find out why many organizers are calling this a match made in Austin.
The yellow wristband, an international symbol for the Livestrong Foundation. Based in Austin, Texas, Livestrong provides resources for the 28 million people around the world that live with cancer. Their mission is to inspire and empower those affected by the disease.
The doctor's going to say, hey, here's the treatment you need. And they say, well, what about my emotional needs? What about psychosocial needs? What about fertility? That's where you get all the answers.
Tom Whiteside, an avid runner, is participating in this year's marathon. But he's not just a runner. He's a cancer survivor.
People, you think you're going one way, something like cancer happens, 180, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a new line of work.
So Livestrong says 12,000 runners will take part in the half marathon and 6,000 in the full marathon. This certified course will take runners through some of Austin's most scenic and historic areas.
On Sunday, thousands of racers will start here on 16th and Congress. And their 26-mile journey will end here on Congress between 7th and 8th Street.
University of Texas senior Gloria Chan is one of those runners. But for her, this marathon is more than just a race.
My father was actually diagnosed with colon cancer in April of 2010. So I had never really experienced a battle with cancer with a close family member like that before. And it really made me realize how important it is to just continue supporting the fight against cancer and supporting all the people that are working to try and find a cure for cancer.
Chan and 10 other UT women created a team and committed to raising $5,500 for cancer research. While Whiteside looks forward to crossing the finish line,
I think it's an emotional experience regardless for anybody when you cross that finish line, and I think when you have a cancer connection, especially at a race that is sponsored by Livestrong, I think it's a pretty powerful moment.
Chan is already looking one step further than the finish.
I think I'm going to feel some joy and relief and excitement all at the same time, and I'll be looking forward to whatever meal I'll be eating for lunch, definitely.
John Scott, KVR News.
There will be road closures on the day of the event, so please plan ahead and be aware of the closures in your area. To see a map of all the closings, visit our Twitter at www.twitter.com/KVRnews.
If you're looking for a different kind of event to attend in the coming weeks, a group of guys have set out to create new social opportunities for young Austin adults. KVR News reporters Sarah Siegel and Brianna Connor tell us more.
From bar crawls to food specials, one group is setting out to change the social scene around Austin. Their name, Social Ding, and they've got a giant armadillo on their side.
Our last event was called Love is in the Hair. It was a wig-themed Valentine's bar crawl. It was our first event, and we had a bunch of people come out, and everyone was wearing wigs. We had themed party favors at all the participating bars where you could, you get heart-shaped sunglasses or heart headbands, heart tattoos, and there was 5 bars that were participating, and everyone had different drink specials. We had food trailers offering food specials, and we gave out awards based on the type of wig that you were wearing, and that got you, different types of prizes and everything.
The event took place downtown this last Saturday and had a great turnout.
Everyone loves a good bar crawl.
One of the group's many plans to bring Austin young adults together through unique social events.
We have multiple bar crawls going on, but we haven't decided on the names of everything. We haven't decided on what exactly we're going to do for them, but we definitely have one coming up for Easter, and the name is tentative, but it's definitely going to happen in April.
For more information on Social Ding, visit their website at www.thesocialding.com. Brianna Collins and Sarah Siegel, KVR News.
Jeopardy is no longer just for humans. 3 members of the UT Computer Science Department are part of the team cheering for Watson, IBM's computer model turned Jeopardy contestant. IBM credits the 3 UT scientists and researchers at several other universities in contributing to the invention of this computer. Watson played tonight and will be playing tomorrow and Wednesday against some of Jeopardy's best competitors.
UT students who spent their childhood singing "Oh, I Wish I Were an Oscar Mayer Wiener" may soon have the chance to make those dreams come true. That's because tomorrow evening, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and 2 recruiters, better known as hot doggers, will be hosting an information session in Burdine Hall, room 112 at 5:30 p.m. Each year, Oscar Mayer selects 12 college grads to serve as ambassadors for the brand and drive the 6 esteemed Wienermobiles cross-country. For more information, check out our KVR News Twitter tomorrow morning.
Coming up next on KVR News, what do UT students with family in Egypt have to say about Mubarak?
There's still more ahead on KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Oh, hello. My name's Edward. I produce a little show for TSTV called Capital Cineforum. Nobody really knew about us last semester. Thanks. And to be honest, nobody really knows about us this semester either. The fact is, we here at Capital Cineforum have a lot to offer any television audience. It's good. We are student short films made by UT students. Movies like... No. Well... And our episodes have fun themes like...
Those films were out of sight.
But we have funny opening sketches, too. They tend to be about cat food commercials. It's just sort of a thing. Oh, thanks. So watch Capital Cineforum next semester. Really? Please?
You're watching KVR News on Texas Student Television.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Egypt held international attention as protests demanding Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak step down. The protests also drew attention and support from Egyptian UT students and faculty here in Austin who have family and friends in Egypt.
The Egyptian government shutdown of the internet and cell phone service January 27th terrified Egyptian UT students, like junior Colleen Crawford, who were unable to contact their family or friends.
That was super scary, honestly, because when something like that is happening, especially with Egypt with the corrupt regime, if you can't see what's happening or if they don't want you to see what's happening, that's when you really have to become worried.
UT junior Omar El Batouti also lost contact with friends and family.
It put me in a state of shock because I was unable to reach some of the closest, people to me, and at the same time, it allowed for room for doubt to emerge. Are they still alive? Are they okay?
Egyptian UT professor in the Department of Rhetoric and Writing, Dr. Rasha Diab, has immediate family living in Egypt, and she believes the government shutdown of the internet holds great significance.
I believe that the bigger problem is an orchestrated effort on the part of the government to alienate people from one another and to limit their ability to seek information and to circulate information.
Omar says the protests demanding President Hosni Mubarak's removal after 30 years of presidency are a part of his generation's movement against the only regime they've ever known.
What started on January 25th is beyond amazing. It's beyond liberating. It's so many people from so many different generations would have ever expected to see this in their lifetime.
Many Egyptians plan to continue protesting and organizing strikes until President Mubarak steps down. Lauren Hewitt, KVR News.
After 18 days of protest, President Mubarak stepped down from his position. The military is now in charge for the remaining 6 months before the next election. With continuous coverage on Egypt, we asked UT students what they thought about the use of nonviolent protests by the Egyptian people that led to the revolution.
Well, I think it's giving a good example to a better image of the Middle East. Like, a lot of people think that everyone there is like a extremist terrorist. I think this will be a very good thing for the Middle East.
I think their nonviolent approach was really effective, and they were successful because of that approach. I think if they would have been more violent, they would have gotten shut down a lot sooner. And by being nonviolent, they were able to bring in not just the youth, but also people who are older, bring in a lot of people who normally would not have been on their side, and to gain a lot more support than they would have had otherwise.
I think that it sends a really positive message about what they want. Obviously, sometimes using violence doesn't work, and I think that them using the nonviolent protests and sleeping out in Tahrir Square and doing all that really proves that they want what they're protesting for, and they're going to do anything to get it. And I think it's really smart.
Elections for UT student government are right around the corner. That means campaign season is getting underway on the 40 acres once again. Overall, a total of 40 positions will be elected. Campaigning begins this Wednesday, February 16th, and will continue until votes are cast March 2nd and 3rd. For continuing coverage of events during this year's campaign, be sure to follow us on Twitter at www.kvrnews.com.
You may have seen balloons and game booths around campus today. That's because the College of Natural Sciences Council put on a Healthy Heart Carnival to raise money for the American Heart Association. It went on today from noon to 3:30 p.m. and was held in the Jester Spanish Oaks Plaza. The council set up a variety of booths where students could play games, buy snacks, throw pie in someone's face, and even get their blood pressure taken. The booths were themed to educate students on living healthfully.
We decided that cardiovascular disease would be the best one. It's the leading cause of death in the U.S., and if students take the steps to prevent that while they're in...
To get your Valentine's Day treats today, you've got another chance. The Communication Council is inviting communication students to come eat your heart out tomorrow morning. They'll be providing treats and breakfast from 7:30 to 11 in the morning at the Communication Plaza.
Texas Review is the largest student-run talent show on campus, and the show will be holding auditions this Saturday, February 19th, in the SAC Black Box Theater. Participants must sign up for an audition spot by 5 p.m. on February the 16th at the Texas Union Events and Info Desk. A variety of talents are welcome to audition, including organizations and individual performers. The show will be on April 16th, and the winner will receive $1,500.
For this week's campus history, we're taking you to the house of Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, also known as Fiji. Located on the edge of campus on 27th Street, the 109-year-old house was built in 1902 as a colonial revival mansion by Austin financier Louis Goldbeck. Only a few years later, in 1908, was it sold to the Texas Association of Phi Gamma Delta. In 1972, the house was recorded as a historical landmark by the Texas Historical Commission. Because of this, the letters of the fraternity are not placed on the house itself, but are located on the front porch light.
Coming up next on KVR News, will we continue to see sunny skies throughout the week?
Our weather expert, Morgan Williams, will show us what to expect in this week's forecast.
Stay tuned for your weather report on KVR News at 9.
Video Game City, what's that? No goose! No! It's a Christmas miracle! Oh God, it's bullets! Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God, there's more dogs!
I haven't heard you make a funny joke all day.
I just talked to 5 guys, and all 5 of them said, "What's up with video games?"
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Today was a beautiful day with lots of sun and a cool breeze.
Morgan Williams is live at the tower to tell us if our week will continue with this gorgeous weather.
Thanks, ladies. We had beautiful weather today for Valentine's Day with temperatures in the mid-70s. Now, tonight we can look for some clouds and fog with a low of 57. Looking ahead to our 6-day forecast, we can look forward to some pretty nice weather this week with some scattered showers this weekend. Tomorrow we'll start up with some patchy fog and clouds, but by the afternoon it will be mostly sunny. We can expect a beautiful afternoon again with a high of 75. As we move into the evening, the fog and clouds will return with a low of around 57. Wednesday looks about the same as tomorrow, once again starting out cloudy and becoming mostly sunny with a high of 75 and a low of 59. However, Wednesday night, clouds will move into the Austin area, so on Thursday, the temperatures will still be in the 70s during the day with a high of 74 and a low of 59, but don't plan on getting much sun as Thursday will be mostly cloudy. As we head into the weekend on Friday, the temperatures will warm up a bit, but you may want to bring an umbrella to class. There is a 20% chance of rain. However, it will still be partly sunny with a high of 77 and an overnight low of 58. Saturday is shaping up to be about the same as Friday with a 20% chance of rain. Saturday will be a little cooler with a high of 71 and cloudy skies. Saturday night has a low of 53, so if you are going out, you may want a jacket and umbrella. And Sunday there is still a 20% chance of rain with a high of 72 and mostly cloudy skies. So overall this week, there will be great weather. We can expect temperatures in the mid-70s all week. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be perfect outdoor weather, so be sure to get out in that sun before the clouds move in on Thursday. This weekend, there is a slight chance of rain, but overall this week, just enjoy the warmer weather and be sure to follow KVR News on Twitter for daily weather updates. Reporting live from the tower, Morgan Williams, KVR News.
Thanks, Morgan. Coming up next, College Pressbox's Leslie Slaughter shares with us highlights from the men's basketball game against the Baylor Bears.
Stay tuned. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Video Game City, what's that? No, Goose, no! It's a Christmas miracle! Oh God, it's bullets! Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God, there's more dogs!
I haven't heard you make a funny joke all day.
I just talked to 5 guys, and all 5 of them said, "What's up with video games?"
Hi, I'm Jorge Olivares.
And I'm Catherine Verrett.
Coming up today, a UT professor has changed my final exam. What does this mean for my grades and my future?
And a midday marathon through San Jacinto is keeping me from getting to class on time.
This just in, an affiliate reporter has just informed me that her class has been canceled on Friday. What does that mean for her pre-weekend plans? We'll tell you after the break.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome to Sports on KVR News. Joining us from College Pressbox, we have Leslie Slaughter to give us all the news in Longhorn sports.
Thanks, ladies. With it being Valentine's Day, it was only fitting that Dwayne Aquina had a change of heart and is back on the 40 acres. The former defensive backs coach resigned after UT's 5-7 season and accepted a similar role at the University of Arizona. Texas moved on and hired former All-American Jerry Gray, but then notified Texas last week that he would become the defensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans. Now, Aquina is back with his former team after only being gone for a month. Now, heading into Saturday's game, the Texas Longhorns were looking for some revenge against the Baylor Bears. Last season, the Longhorns lost both regular season games against the Bears and were then eliminated by their in-state rivals in the Big 12 tournament. Let's head to the Frank Irwin Center for the action. After defeating the Sooners, the Longhorns came back home on Saturday afternoon to take on the Baylor Bears. Starting off the game, we have Doge Balbay handing it off to Gary Johnson. Johnson finds Jordan Hamilton, who drains one from behind the arc, giving the Horns an early 3-0 lead. Hamilton with the ball again, drives into the heart of the lane and lays in a smooth floater. Texas takes a 20-11 lead in the middle of the first half. Corey Joseph, guarded by number 20 Stargell Love, takes it in for an easy floater, nothing but net for the Canadian freshman. And after a few quick passes, Hamilton finds himself with the ball, dribbling along the baseline for a power dunk, drawing the foul for the and one play. Horns up 38-22 at halftime. Lacedarius Dunn, trying to get Baylor off to a better start in the second half, draws a foul on the made jumper. On the other end of the court, Doge Balbay tosses it up to Tristan Thompson for the dunk. He's going to get called with a technical on the shot. Thompson clearly upset with the ref's call. Baylor's A.J. Walton feeds it inside to Percy Jones III, who dunks it in without the foul. Gary Johnson at the line misses the free throw, but that's what rebounds are for. Thompson gets the board and sinks a jumper, putting Texas up by 6. Johnson at the line again. He's at the mercy of the rim as his shot rolls in with 24 seconds left in the game. The Longhorns end up with the win, defeating Baylor 69-60 and remaining undefeated in Big 12 play. Let's take a look at some of the stats from the game. Jordan Hamilton and Tristan Thompson had 17 points apiece and combined for 20 rebounds. Baylor's Lacedarius Dunn finished with 26 points as the Texas Longhorns go to win their 10th straight conference game.
Thank you, Leslie. So on KVR News, we have surprising news for Glee fans everywhere, and how much kissing is really going on UT's campus.
We've got all the details on KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Texas Student Television is a fantastic place for students that want to learn about television. You see, we'll teach you things, cool things. Things like, what's a jib? What's a jib? This is a jib. In fact, I believe we're using a jib right now in order to film this promo. But you see, it's not all about the learning. TSTV also has a bunch of cool shows you want to watch. Shows that have to do with news, sports, comedy, we got it all. Because here at TSTV, we're entertaining and educational, just not at the same time.
You're watching KVR News on Texas Student Television.
The producers of Sneak Peek would like to take a moment and ponder the trends of tomorrow.
Comic book musicals.
3D cooking shows. Canadian art films, eh?
Post-apocalyptic movies.
Sneak Peek, keeping you posted on movie, TV, and entertainment news. For the most hip and hot updates, tune in Thursdays at 9:30.
On Dorm Channel 15.
Cable Channel 16.
And on your antenna on Channel 29.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News tip line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. We have with us Sarah Siegel tonight to share our dose of entertainment news.
Millions of people tuned into the Grammys last night to see who would walk away with the awards and who would be left out in the cold. But let's face it, many of us stayed glued to the awards show because we wanted to see when Lady Gaga would hatch from her egg. She arrived to the Grammys in a large white egg carried by 4 palebearers and later emerged from the egg during her performance. Not to be outdone, CeeLo Green came in an outfit that looked like it could have laid Gaga's egg. Green wore a giant bird-like costume with red, yellow, and blue feathers with puppets in tow. Looks like Gaga has some competition for outrageous costumes. Then we have Nicki Minaj. Her leopard ensemble left many questions unanswered. The rapper is quoted as saying that her outfit was a miraculous piece of lioness meets her cub, meets fierciosity, meets fabulosity, meets fashionista, meets everything. With all these animalistic outfits, it looks like the Grammys are shaping up to be a bit of a zoo. Now more from the chapel, or more from the courtroom. Everyone's favorite Simpson is filing for divorce. No, the other Simpson. Ashley Simpson and Pete Wentz are separating after being married for a little less than 3 years. The singer and the bassist for Fall Out Boy have cited irreconcilable differences as a reason for the split. Simpson is seeking custody for their 2-year-old son, and a joint statement by the former couple says that they remain friends. This week on America's favorite TV show, Glee, an important character may be questioning his sexuality. This may be a spoiler alert for all of you Gleeks, so now would be the time to put the TV on mute. Our favorite Dalton Academy warbler Blaine is rumored to experience an encounter with a pivotal member of the opposite gender in the up-and-coming episode. The character is then forced to reconsider how he may feel toward women. This could spell trouble for Kurt and his ongoing crush for the homosexual character. It will be interesting to see how fans feel about the sudden change in heart. That's all the Hollywood gossip this week on KVR's Entertainment Corner.
Thanks, Sarah. Today's the most romantic day of the year, and I'm sure there was a lot of lip locking.
According to the newest Dentyne Pure gum commercial, the average American has 28 first kisses. So in the spirit of the holiday, we went out and asked UT students how many first kisses they've had.
I've had over 1 million first kisses because when I'm in love, every kiss is the first kiss.
11.
20.
10.
I've had one first kiss.
57. 5.
17.
Just 2.
Probably over 20. 30. 14.
I've had 15 first kisses.
In our unscientific survey, we polled more than 80 UT students and found the average number of first kisses here on the UT campus is 12.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. For campus updates throughout the week, check out our Twitter page at www.twitter.com/KVR News.
Join us next week for another episode of KVR News at 9. Stay tuned for College Pressbox. Thank you, have a great night, and happy Valentine's.
The producers behind Sneak Peek would like to take a moment and ponder the trends of tomorrow.
Tween fanaticism over mummies. The breakout of swing hip-hop fusion. The rise and fall of the historical sci-fi genre. TV's debut of celebrity driver's ed. Sneak Peek, an entertainment news show that may just be ahead of its time. For the most hip and hot updates, tune in.
Good evening, Austin, and welcome to a special Valentine's edition of College Pressbox. When we last left you, Texas men's basketball had still not lost a conference game. But last week, the Longhorns took on two Big 12 South rivals, including one team they went 0-3 against last season. I'm your host, Sarah Marks, and joining me today are analysts Jordan Cannon and Alex Stockwell, making this the first all-girl panel ever on College Pressbox.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, while Texas prepared for a tough match against Baylor, on Wednesday they took an opponent they dispatched earlier this season with little difficulty, making their yearly visit to Norman, Oklahoma and the rival Sooners. There's a favorite from the 40 acres and one of my personal favorites, Kevin Durant. Early in the first half, Texas starts building on its lead when Jordan Hamilton hands off an alley-oop to Tristan Thompson to make the score 14-4. Later this first half, there's a three-point shot by Gary Johnson, one of 5 Longhorns to score in double digits that game. Then, Jordan Hamilton takes a three-point shot to make the score 31-15 Texas. Next up, Doge Balbay snags a fast break and goes in for the layup to make the score 38-25. Also with double digits, this is the first time in the season that all 5 starters have reached double figures. Next, Jacobin Brown grabs a rebound and Doge Balbay scores on a fast break to make the score 40-25. In the middle of the second half, Jordan Hamilton takes a jump shot, making the score 57-35 Texas, which gives Texas the largest lead of the night. Texas did not trail at any point in this game, and they won 68-52. Now here are some stats. Jordan Hamilton was 8 for 16 of field goals and 20 points total with 9 rebounds, and Gary Johnson was 5 for 9, 4 for 4 on free throws, and 14 total points. And Texas started 9-0 in conference play for the first time since the 1977-78 season.
And after defeating the Sooners, the Longhorns came back home on Saturday after Bears. Starting off the game, we have Doge Balbay handing it off to Gary Johnson. Johnson finds Jordan Hamilton, who drains one from behind the arc, giving the Horns an early lead 3-0. Jordan Hamilton with the ball again drives it into the heart of the lane and lays in the smooth floater. Texas takes a 20-11 lead in the middle of the half.
Corey Joseph, guarded by number 20 Stargell Love, he takes it in for an easy floater, nothing but net for the Canadian freshman. And after a few quick passes, Hamilton finds himself with the ball, dribbling along the baseline for a power dunk, drawing the foul for the and-one play. The Horns would be up 38-22 at the half. And Ladarius Dunn tries to get Baylor off to a better start, drawing the foul after making the jumper. On the other end of the court, Doge Balbay tosses it up to Tristan Thompson for the dunk, but he's going to get a technical call on this shot. Obviously very unhappy about the ref's decision here. And Baylor's A.J. Walton feeds it inside to Percy Jones III, who dunks it in without the foul. Texas leading 50-40, though, at this point. And a missed free throw, no problem. We've got the rebound with Tristan Thompson laying in the easy jumper. Texas up by 6 at this point. Gary Johnson at the line again. He's at the mercy of the rim as this one rolls in. 24 seconds left on the clock, and the Horns will end up with the win, defeating Baylor 69-60, remaining undefeated in Big 12 play. Let's take a look at some of the stats from the game. Jordan Hamilton and Tristan Thompson had 17 points apiece and combined for 20 rebounds on the night. Baylor's Ladarius Dunn finished with 26 points as the Texas Longhorns go on to win their 10th consecutive game and defeating the Bears with a 69-60 victory.
It was a tough conference matchup against the Bears, but in the end the Longhorns pulled through with a victory and remained undefeated in Big 12 play.
This was one of the closest games we had in the Big 12, and I figured, we need some of that, towards the end especially.
You can add this to one of the, tough games that we had. This is good for us. This is real good for us in terms of just playing a close game, knowing what to do, and when it gets down like this is like a tournament game, like in the tournament, so it just gets us ready.
Riding the hot hand of Ladarius Dunn, who scored 22 of his 26 points in the second half, Baylor was able to cut into Texas's 16-point halftime lead.
People would probably say, Ladarius Dunn got hot and stuff, but that's what great players do. Got to give them credit. He heated up for them and kept them in the game. Great player.
Ladarius, again, we knew he could go for that, but we actually said if he's going to get 26, let's make him shoot it 26 to 30 times to get it.
Baylor was able to get within 3, but freshman Tristan Thompson sealed the Longhorns' victory with 4 critical rebounds down the stretch.
Just being hungry for the ball and knowing that every extra possession counts. This was a close game, and you need those 50-50 balls to come in your favor to pull out a game like this. So I knew just coming down the stretch, got to be active and just get all loose balls.
I think Tristan did a great job of getting it down and posting up.
There's no question we can be better, but we haven't talked about it. I mean, our guys know what everybody's playing for right now.
Ashley Park, College Pressbox.
Women's basketball also took a hot streak into their match against Baylor. On Wednesday, they headed to Manhattan, Kansas to defeat the Kansas State Wildcats 69-59. Freshman Chastity Fuzel led the Longhorns in scoring once again with the 19 points. Yvonne Anderson added 18 to help the team win its 5th straight conference game. And then on Saturday, they went to Waco, looking for revenge in round 2 against Brittany Griner and the Lady Bears. Waco. Longhorns would start with the only Texas highlight you'll see here. Kristen Nash around for the jumper, tying it 12-12, the only time the Longhorns would ever be even close to the Bears. From here on out, it is the Brittany Griner show. Here she is with a quick jump, making it look easy, 18-12. She is not just good, she's great, and she knows it. Here again she is with a quick grab off to the side and go, making her own rebound. She is the Baylor Bears this game. And again, we have her with the foul, but still making the shots. She made all 11 of her free throws, so fouling her was just adding insult to injury. She would go on to score 29 points and add 12 rounds for her 23rd double-double of her career. She outscored the Texas in the first half alone, 23-22. Texas would trail by as much as 42 and lose 96-68 against the Bears. Here we have some stats. Ashley Fontenette added with 26 points, and Kat Nash not doing so well, went 0 for 8 for field goals, 9 rebounds. Brittany Griner for Baylor went 9 and 11 for the field goal, 29 points. When we come back after the break, Texas softball opened their season over the weekend. We'll show you how they fared.
Welcome back to College Pressbox. Texas softball recently began their season last weekend, and this weekend, Texas baseball will get into the swing of things when they kick off their 2011 season. Our own Nathan Parse gives us a look on what to expect for the Longhorn season.
The 2010 season ended in heartbreak for the seemingly championship-bound Texas baseball team.
It's the way baseball is. It's a cruel game, man.
But despite losing key players like Chance Ruffin and Cameron Rupp to the pros, the Longhorns began 2011 ranked 6th or 7th in all the major polls.
You know, as we start a new season, it's always exciting. It's always full of intrigue. It's always full of expectations.
Returning leaders are motivated to redeem last year's early exit and make another run at a championship.
The one thing I haven't done is won a national championship, and that's the main reason I'm here. It's the main reason, you know, Tant and Staten, and you got seniors that came back that could have gone on and played at other places, but it's what we love and it's what we want to do.
You know, we had a great team last year. You know, we felt that we should have been there. But you know, some things happen for a reason, and we've been working real hard this year. We've done a lot of stuff. You know, we have some changes we have to you know, embrace. So you know, we're going to have to, you know, replace that closer role that Ruffin had. We're going to replace some outfielders and the catching position.
We have a good team, but no one has a great team yet, including us. Great teams come as a result of a lot of hard knocks and a lot of adjustments and a lot of learning and a lot of cohesiveness and facing a lot of adversity together, which forms a tougher team.
Nathan Parse, College Pressbox.
And on Thursday, don't miss our baseball-softball season preview special for a closer look at the beginning of promising seasons for Texas baseball and softball. Also victim to an early postseason departure last season, softball began their season last weekend in the 4-team Texas Invitational. On Thursday, they opened with the Louisville Cardinals. And in the first inning, Blair Luna strikes out the side to open the game. She had 13 strikeouts in the game in her 7 innings of play. And in the third inning, Taylor Hoagland, one of the stars of this weekend, hits a home run deep to left field. This extends her hitting streak to 12 games. Following right behind Hoagland, Lexi Bennett fires one off to left field to make the score 2-0 in the third inning. Also later on in the third, Taylor Thom grabs a grounder from Katie Keller to keep the score to 4-2. Blair Luna, the sophomore phenom, finished the night with 13 strikeouts in her 7 innings, and the Longhorns won 6-2. Texas defeated Louisville, and Taylor Hoagland was 1 for 3 with 1 home run, 1 RBI, and 2 runs. Blair Luna, 7 IP, 2 errors, 13 strikeouts.
And here we have game 2 of the Texas Classic as the Horns take on Tulsa. Top of the 5th here as freshman pitcher Rachel Fox sends it to Haley Henshaw of Tulsa. She knocks a homer to right center, putting them up 1-0. Going into the bottom of that inning, Texas looking to tie it up as Kim Bruin sends it high and deep into left center field, which brings in Reagan Fight from third. Next batter up, Taylor Hoagland knocks this one deep. That ball is just going out in the field into the parking lot. Hopefully those cars have their insurance because that cleared the first row at least. She puts Texas up, hits her 2nd home run in 2 games. Amy Hooks at bat decides she wants to get in on the home run action and launches this one way into center field, putting Texas up 5-1 against Tulsa. One final score for the Longhorns will give them the 6-1 victory over Tulsa. Checking out some stats from the evening, Taylor Hoagland went 1 for 2 from the plate and hit 2 home runs for the night. Pitcher Rachel Fox had pitched 7 innings and earned 1 run. She had 8 strikeouts and allowed 4 hits and 2 walks.
And here we have Northern Illinois, top of the 2nd. Danny Pear singles to the right side, making it 3-0 for Illinois. Going to the bottom of the 3rd, Texas is down 3-1, but has a chance to tie it with the bases loaded. Kim Bruins delivers, scores Berger Washington. But here we have Lexi Bennett gunned at the plate. Texas still trails 3-2. Now the bottom of the fourth, the bases are loaded for Taylor Hoagland, looking for her third home run in 3 games. Before she even gets the chance, a wild pitch for the Northern Illinois scores Taylor Thom, ties the game at 3. Hoagland again at the plate. This time she gets her pitch, a deep home run to the left field, scores 3, and Texas goes on to win 8-4. A comeback victory continues their winning streak and advances them in the tournament. Here we have some stats. Taylor Hoagland was 2 for 3 from the plate with 3 home runs, and Kim Bruins was 2 for 4 with 3 runs. When we return, we'll have the rest of the tournament and see how softball fared in the semifinals and if they made it to the championship of the Texas Classic.
Welcome back to College Pressbox. On Saturday, the softball team continued competition in the Texas Classic with one more game against Northern Illinois in the tournament semifinal. On Saturday, they had a hot start. They were up 2-0 with Taylor Thom with a runner on, double down the left field line and brings in Shelby Savany for a 3-0 lead. In the bottom of the second, with 2 runners on for Lexi Bennett, she hits hard down the right field line and brings in 2, and she manages to make it to third base. Later on, right behind her, Nadia Taylor promptly brings her in, bringing the score 6-0 Texas. Still in the bottom of the second, the bases are loaded for Tori Schmidt, and yet another hard hit to right field clears the bases. Schmidt lands a triple, 9-0 Texas. And then in the bottom of the third, Taylor Hoagland, a big hitter, looking for her 4th home run in 4 games, hits one high and deep, not quite enough for the home run, but she reaches third base for Texas's 3rd triple of the game. Texas wins in the mercy rule, 14-1. We'll have some stats. Taylor Hoagland went 3 for 3 with 1 RBI and 4 runs. Lexi Bennett, 3 for 3 with 4 RBI and 3 runs. Blair Luna, 5 innings pitched and 7 strikeouts.
And on Sunday, Texas faced Louisville in the championship game of the tournament. Bases loaded in the top of the first as Amy Hooks sends a single down the middle. And off of a poor catch by the catcher, Lexi Bennett scores right behind Taylor Hoagland, an early 2-0 lead for Texas. Still in the top of the first, Kim Bruins is going to send this ball sailing deep into left field. Maybe the catcher got it lost in the sun, and Texas earns another run. Horns up 4-0 as Taylor Thom shows no mercy, doubling this one down the middle. This is going to give Texas a commanding 5-0 lead over Louisville. And Blair Luna had some solid performances throughout the tournament. She struggled for a bit, but here in the 4th inning, she strikes out the side. She did have a nice cushion to work with after a 9-run inning in the game. The Horns defeat Louisville easily, 14-4, claiming the crown from the tournament in the Texas Classic. Some stats from the game: Hoagland went 3 for 4, had a grand slam, and hit her 4th home run in 5 games. Taylor Thom added to the home run club and contributed 1 run to the Longhorns' victory against the Cardinals.
It was a good weekend all the way around, and to have that be the finish. This group obviously is very focused on finishing. We'll talk a lot about that through the year. So good to be able to talk about that today and then get the outcome.
I think it's a great start to our season. Our team intensity was up. I think it's going to be a good year for us.
It was an offensive explosion, I must say. The team was great, 1 through 9. Everybody got a hit. Everyone stayed focused, and we made sure we stayed on the gas. We never let up. And I think as a group, our goal was to finish strong, and we did that.
Yeah, amazing. The hitters were amazing this weekend, and it's just a solid lineup all the way through, and then some. A couple of them really jumped out, namely Taylor Hoagland was just absolutely amazing this weekend.
Both men's and women's tennis were in action over the weekend. Number 5 men's tennis took on the Florida State Seminoles in Tallahassee, Florida on Saturday. In the doubles matches, UT's fifth-ranked duo of Gene Anderson and Ed Corey defeated FSU's Connor Smith and Vahid Mirzadeh in the Longhorns combo of Kellen D'Amico and David Hollander nailed down the double point with a win over the Seminoles, Andres Bucaro and Anderson Reed. In the singles, Anderson, Vasco Mladenov, Daniel Whitehead won their matches, shutting down Florida State and taking the win 4-3. At 4-0, Texas is off to at 7-0. Texas is off to its best start since the 2008 season, when it opened at 7-0 and went on to reach the NCAA title match. Texas improves to 7-0 all-time against Florida State.
Texas rowing also kicked off its 2011 season Saturday here in Austin with 4 top finishes at the Fighting Nutria race. The first varsity 8 team claimed the top finish with a time of 28:56. The first novice boat finished second, followed by the second and third varsity boats. The Longhorns will host Bates College for an exposition here at Lady Bird Lake Wednesday the 23rd.
And Texas track and field split between long and short distance groups over the weekend. The Longhorn men's sprinters claimed 6 victories at the Don Kirby Invitational, led by Trevante Rhodes in the 200 meters, Jamal Wilson in the high jump, Marquise Goodwin in the long jump, Mark Jackson in the triple jump, Kenny Greaves in the pole vault, and Hayden Baleo in the shot put. Both the men and women's distance runners competed at the Husky Classic on Saturday. The Longhorns were led by Patrick McGregor's personal best, where he finished 10th in just over 4 minutes. McGregor's time places him 5th on UT's all-time performers list. For the women, Betsy Jimenez earned a 10th place finish in the 3,000-meter run at the Husky Classic. She finished with a season best of 9 minutes and 20.26 seconds, while freshman Sarah Sutherland came in just after her in a personal best of 30 minutes and 30.6 seconds. Junior Mia Bem finished among the top 10 of the 5,000-meter run by placing 6th overall.
Texas football had almost finished the process of rebuilding their coaching staff, but on Saturday, recently hired defensive backs coach Jerry Gray announced his departure for the defensive coordinator job with the Tennessee Titans. However, today, former defensive backs coach Dwayne Aquina, who had left for Arizona earlier this year, announced his return to his old position. Now, before we go to our last break, we always leave you with the same Longhorn trivia. After hitting 4 home runs in the opening weekend, Taylor Hoagland is on the fast track to a record season. So we want to know who holds Texas softball's single-season home run record, and how many did she hit? The answer when we return. Welcome back to College Press Box. Before the break, we asked who holds Texas softball's single-season home run record, and how many did she hit? The answer is junior Courtney Craig, who had 13 home runs just last season.
And this week in Longhorn sports, Tuesday women's golf will be at the UCF Challenge in Sorrento, Florida, while women's basketball will be taking on Nebraska at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, men's basketball faces Oklahoma State at home at 8 o'clock. And Friday through Sunday, men's tennis will be at the ITA National Team Indoor Championship in Seattle, Washington. Saturday, men's basketball will take on Nebraska at 12:45 in the afternoon, while women's basketball faces Oklahoma at 5 o'clock. Sunday through Tuesday, men's golf will be at the Puerto Rico Classic.
And on Thursday, softball is taking on Wisconsin in the Time Warner Cable Texas Invitational Tournament at 6:30. On Friday, baseball opens the season against Maryland at 3 o'clock. Softball will also play against Missouri State at 6:30. Saturday, baseball will continue to play against Maryland in a doubleheader at 12 and 2:30. Softball will take on Colorado State at 1:30. Softball will also take on an undetermined team in the tournament semifinal at either 4 or 6:30. And on Sunday, softball will take on either the third place game at 10 o'clock or the championship game at noon. And baseball will also play Maryland at noon.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce a new segment on the show, our featured athlete of the week. Our first athlete is sophomore Nick DiNicenzo from the Texas men's swimming and diving team.
And It took me a while to actually start because every one of my friends around me started joining, and then I was the last to join. So, yeah, around 6 years old. Actually, it's funny that I ended up here in Texas. To this day, I laugh about it because I grew up swimming around the time that Texas was a big powerhouse in NCAA swimming. So I grew up hearing about it all the time. All the pros that came out of here when they were first starting out. I basically grew up telling everybody that I was going to come swim for Texas eventually, which my uncle loved because he's an alumni from here. So yeah, all the pros from Texas I grew up idolizing, so they were pretty much my inspiration growing up. One of the other big reasons was I really wanted to go south because growing up in the north with all that snow, I liked skiing when I was younger, and then more towards the end of my senior year, when swimming, was getting serious, it came to a realization that I'm not going to be allowed to ski wherever I go. So I might as well go somewhere where I'm not going to be tempted to go skiing, so head south.
During his career at Texas, DiNincenzo has been recognized as National Swimmer of the Week, as well as the Big 12 Men's Swimmer of the Week. His times in the 100 and 200-meter breaststroke are among the best in the nation.
It's good to have success this early on. Especially after last year, I had a bit of a rough season, but it's nothing to worry about this season. This season's a whole nother season, and everybody's real close. Team's a team, wherever you go. But these guys, they're part of the family. I'm part of the family now, and that's how it is here. We're all brothers, and Ed and Chris, you gotta love them, and yeah, I love everybody here.
Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of College Press Box. And be sure to tune in next week for more Longhorn sports news. Also on Wednesday at 9:30 for College Crossfire. And on Thursday, don't miss our special baseball-softball season preview at 9 o'clock right here on Texas Student Television. On behalf of all of us at the studio, we hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day and a great week. Our gift to you is the return of Michael Morton and the sexy highlights.
Hey ladies, it's that time of year again. Curl up nice and warm on a couch and get ready, because it's sexy highlights time. I'm your Mac Daddy Michael, and we're gonna hit you up with some oh so good highlights. Let's take it away. Doge Balbay starring it off right to Gary Johnson, who's gonna feed a hungry Jordan Hamilton who, oh yeah, gets a long one from downtown. Then Corey Joseph, oh, he's so smooth, cutting inside, and he's gonna hit it and quit it. Yeah, you do that, number 5. Then Hamilton, oh yeah, slamming it home, making that rim work hard for the ball. Balbay running the floor, and he and Tristan Thompson are gonna hook up for a threesome with the rim, and Thompson's like, what? It's over already? Oh yeah, man, it's over. Johnson at the line, and that ball is going to wrap around before falling in the hole, and Johnson, as always, ends it with a kiss. The Longhorns score 69 and slide by on the hard court. Well, that's all we have for you tonight, ladies. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Sexy Highlights. Remember, we'll be back next year. And as always, Valentine's Day is your day. Stay sexy.